And me, I tell my close friends, don't ask me for money. Don't ask me for money. Don't ask me for petty cash. If it's an emergency, we will all come and help you, but don't ask me for petty cash.
We're overspending. We're seeing the amount, we're paying the bills, and then we're like, oh, this leftover money, I can use it for something instead of saving.
Entrepreneur, content creator, you gonna have to go to school for one of these things I'm naming, because ain't no way you gonna make a half a ticket a year just breeding and being an unskilled laborer, because y'all dropping out of school. Y'all doing it the most, y'all. I need a public vote right now.
Me need an expensive taste, so I go to men who can afford me.
Say, almost 80% of Gen Z in the US think that they will become millionaires one day. I mean, that's crazy optimism and also kinda inspiring. But the thing is, not every mindset about money is actually going to lead to success, especially if culture dictates it. So today, let's break down what Gen Z in the US actually think and what Gen Z in Kenya actually think in terms of money and the habits that actually hold each side back. Let's get into the video. Remember to like and comment down below.
Quick reminder that 77% of Gen Z thinks that they're going to be a millionaire when they grow up. If you're watching this video, you probably believe that you're going to be wealthy too. Don't get me wrong, everyone should have that goal. But the problem is that all these people think that one day they're just going to become a millionaire. Like they're just going to win the lottery or something. They don't know how much hard work actually gets put into becoming wealthy. If you are of that age and you realize that becoming wealthy is very hard and you still do it, you're on a good path. You shouldn't think that you're going to be wealthy if you're doing nothing.
Very true. Creating wealth actually contains some certain steps. And the journey is not as easy as most people actually infatuate it to be.
Gen Z think they are millionaires or millionaires and a half, and I think that is absurdity. They need $500,000 annually to live comfortably in America. Your grandma, great-grandma, grandpa, great-grandpa, mama, daddy, uncles all make $23,000 a year, fool.
What?
Nah, I'm playing, but they make somewhere between 40 and 50,000. You know, I ain't watching nobody pockets, but this is the median income. So what you counting, in-game purchases or virtual currency? What you got going on? Because $500,000 for who? An actor, accountant, insurance agent, investment banker, hedge fund manager, athlete, entrepreneur, content creator. You gonna have to go to school for one of these things I'm naming, because ain't no way you gonna make a half a ticket a year just breeding and being an unskilled laborer, because y'all dropping out of school. Y'all doing it the most, y'all. I need a public vote right now. How much do you think it take to live comfortably in America? Because I say in a 2-parent household, about 75,000 to 100,000 is, yeah, you straight. You straight. But anywhere below that, you paycheck to paycheck for real. I'm talking about everything overdraft.
Sheesh! Mse, bro is actually going hard on Gen Z, samani on us. And it is not everyone who actually behaves like this. As we've heard it being said over and over again, it is the empty vessels that make the most noise. So it is very good for you to actually think that you are going to become successful. I mean, for every kind of success, it actually begins in the mind. And when it begins in the mind, it begins with a trajectory of where you intend to be in a certain period of time. Then after that, you need to take certain steps towards it. Well, if these steps that you are taking towards the ideology or the future that you are imagining for yourselves do not align with if your actions do not align with that imagination, then clearly you're not going to achieve it. Yes, as I said earlier, we begin this thing by certain mindsets, but it is not all mindsets about money that are actually going to lead you towards success. In America or in the US, being ambitious or being successful is actually part of the culture. I mean, that is what most people call the American dream. It is the American dream, the land of the free, where you actually go and become something. And this ideology of the American dream has morphed into something that looks like this for young people. You need to make a lot of money while you are young, and by the time you are 30, you should be financially stable, or you should achieve something known as financial freedom. And after you have achieved that, you can now go all over the country, go all over the world, visit places. I mean, that is now the new American dream. But there's a twist. Very many American people, or young Gen Zs in America, they actually have that dream of making it big, but few of them actually have the discipline to actually move towards this goal. I mean, this has been seen over and over in all cultures in the whole world, because no one taught us anything about money in these schools. And if you went to a certain school and you are taught about money, you are actually taught on how to manage hierarchical structures instead of understanding how money actually works. Clearly, inakaa the people who taught this thing, or the people who created the education system, did not want us to get to that point. Other than that, when we come to this other side of Kenyans do not think of themselves as crazy millionaires, but whenever they do think about money, they are thinking about financial stability. Financial stability in Kenya for a young Gen Z person looks like being able to afford the basic needs like food, shelter, and clothing, especially paying rent, my guy. That is the most crazy thing that young Gen Zs actually think about, and it is actually turning their minds upside down. To me, I would like to view this as something like survival for the fittest, because people in Kenya are trying to survive, and on the other side, people in the US, they are just trying to live the American dream. Other than that, let me know what you think down in the comments below.
I'm literally broke. I don't have no money saved in my bank account. I'm young and I cannot buy a house because I don't make enough money. I don't make enough money to buy a house, and I'm super broke. I don't have no money saved, and I work paycheck to paycheck to pay my rent. This is what people are saying on the internet. Okay, they're talking about how they don't have no money. Like it's so many young people who don't have no money, and I'm gonna tell you why. It's because we're overspending on other things. We're overspending. We're overdoing it. A lot of us is going out on trips, buying a lot of food, eating takeout all the time, paying for things that we should not be paying for, doing too much all the time. Like, what happened to us, like, treating ourselves every blue moon? Like, treating ourselves has become a thing every single day. True. Every single day, young people are wanting to treat themselves with something. And that's the problem. We're overspending, boo. You're overspending. That's what it is. A lot of...
If you actually want to experience the high dopamine chase, you should learn how to control yourself in the situation that when you treat yourself in this once in a blue moon, it actually feels great rather than doing it over and over again. And this is something that also happens in the Kenyan streets. People are always treating themselves each and every weekend. And when I say people, there have been an article that has proven that it is most women who actually try to entertain themselves over the weekend. I mean, this going to clubs thing, most Kenyan men are no longer doing that type of thing.
It's not people's rent. We're overspending. We're seeing the amount, we're paying the bills, and then we're like, oh, this leftover money, I can use it for something instead of saving. I seen this video. This girl was talking about how she don't have no money saved in her bank account but some change. And she showed her bank account. And then she has a credit card, $5,000 in debt off of a credit card. I don't even know how is that possible.
What?
Like, and she was young. Like, this is ridiculous. Like, I hate credit cards. I hate it because it's a setup, and you would never see me get no credit card. No. I already got to pay school loans. I already got to pay them back. I'm not getting no more credit, nothing. Like, I'm not playing these games with the government. Like, a lot of us young people, we use too much money. We look at leftover money and we think it's free, and it's not. It should be saved for a rainy day. It should be saved for emergencies. That's the problem. That's why we can't afford nothing. That's why we can't afford assets, and we only can afford a car payment and a house and the bills that come with the house, because we're not saving our money. We're not investing in anything. A car is not an asset. I don't know who is saying that on the internet, but that is nothing. When you have a car and it's new and you paid it off, it's still not an asset, honey. A house is an asset. Okay, but yeah, it's too much shopping going around with the millennials and the Gen Z. That's the problem with us. I'm literally broke. I don't have no...
That's very true. A car is not an asset. And most people, even online, I've heard in different spaces, they are saying that even a house is not an asset if something that does not completely bring you value if it is not generating any form of revenue, then that thing cannot be an asset. An asset should be something that gives you returns. Ama namna gani? If you think about it, people are not actually broke because they do not have money. They are broke because of what they choose to spend their money on. If you look at the American scene or the US scene, you're going to figure out that it is highly social media driven. Everyone wants to drip on the new kick. They want to put on the new cap, dress some certain way in order to fit in, go to certain parties. And by the way, it is not foreign when it comes to this side of Kenya. On this side of Kenya, things are even much worse. People are embracing with a whole heart. Have you ever been given that big hug like a bear? That is how they are embracing the soft life culture. Young people in Kenya no longer want to have hard life. They just want to sit down and entertain themselves. I mean,
I'm Gen Z, okay? Money confuses me. It doesn't. People are constantly getting. Your generation is constantly coming on. Yes. Based off of that response, definitely your generation. Look, what I'm hearing, people are constantly telling me like, "Oh, your generation is lazy. All you guys want is to earn more money by working less." Yeah. Who doesn't want that?
The question is, are they wrong for doing that? Because they have sat down, they have understood the way the system works to some point, and they have seen some inconsistencies. So whenever you see some of these young Gen Zs actually get into these forms of situation, it is their form of rebellion. It is a way of them trying to throw the hands towards the system and see if the system can actually work without them. But at the end of the day, this is never the solution. The solution is never to evade responsibility, but to actually take it and understand that that form of responsibility is what will lead to the freedom that you actually want. So the real abundance is actually budgeting, investing, and delayed gratification. But that really catches the trend. I hope you guys are going to like this content so that it may reach many other people and we can have a conversation around these matters.
Like, I love money, I'm a gold digger. Like, I love money, I'm a gold digger, and I acknowledge that. And it's all about taste. Kama wewe unataka kudeal na watu ambao wa cheap, tafuta wasichana ambao ni wa taste yako. You understand? So achana na wasichana wenye ambao huwezi wa afford. You understand? So a guy who earns like maybe 15,000 a month is gonna come to me, and for me, I earn that maybe in a day or maybe even in a few hours in like one product. You understand? So if I ask him for like 150,000 girlfriend allowance, he's gonna call me a gold digger just because he doesn't afford it. See, so mimi niko na expensive taste, so I go to men who can afford me. Pia wewe achana kutafuta msichana ambaye mwenye unajua uwezi mu afford. You understand? So go deal with these high school girls or these vinyages that just require like 50 bob a day to buy mboga and ugali and they're done. Mimi napenda pesa, and I will not act like I don't have money or I don't love money to please you or to accommodate your cheap. Yeah, I'm using a bad word. I'm not supposed to. Yeah, I love money.
Sheesh. A 22-year-old Gen Z socialite, Nika Njenga, I think that is a Kenyan name, makes it very clear that she loves money. She's a gold digger and has an expensive taste. That is crazy, You can hear her ideology, and she's trying to mask it around the ideology that she's masking her ideology around taste, that she has taste for money. No, she does not have taste for value. Oh, she has taste for money. If you cannot provide her with certain amount of money, then clearly you cannot be in the same class with her. And we have seen this trend happen with women over and over, but I'd like to think it is a certain amount of or a certain bracket of women. It is not all women in Kenya that actually behave like this, but most of these socialites, the ones that are trying to actually influence our young girls, trust you me, this is how they actually think. And to some extent, when you go to the US or the American side, you will realize that this form of ideology is actually that form of a sugar baby, because when you are going to date for gold, gold digging, then that means you are going to look for someone to take care of you. That's what it means to actually claim that you are a gold digger. You want someone to take care of you, and if you are living that kind of life, then I think you become a sugar baby. This is not a Kenyan issue only. It is a global system that actually proves what happens when value becomes performative. Hapo hivyo ndo kwenye tunaonanga people start beginning to trade their future value for something frivolous, something that lasts at the moment, while eroding their values. Let me know what you think about that.
I just want to sympathize with people who are unemployed, because that struggle by day is not easy. For me, I had been unemployed from 2019 to early last year. And I can tell you it was not easy, man. The depression that hits, I totally understand, man. So when I'm talking about some of these issues, it's not really coming from a bad place. But even in unemployment, I believe there's always a way to get yourself out of that circumstance. Positive mindset. You can always get yourself out of any circumstance, challenging circumstance that you're in. But anyway, me, I'm finding life just becoming very annoying, because you can't even have friends. Let me tell you, man. Like some people, there's no day. Let me just say this: there's no day that may I go without somebody begging me for money. It's so irritating, especially when it comes from friends or people who you have not seen in a long time. And then it's perpetual begging, and it's not meaningful begging. You're not asking for a loan of 50K to go start a business. 200, 500, 1,000. Me, I'm telling you guys, that thing has totally irritated me. And the worst thing is, these guys, they don't want to do work. Because for me, what I usually suggest is, okay, you're in need of cash, come and do an assignment for me and I'll pay you. That one is fine. They do not want to do assignment. They just want quick cash. And yes, they are jobless. They have nothing else going. Me, I try to give them an opportunity to make legitimate money. They don't want legitimate money. They don't want to work. They want me to reach into my pocket and give them free money so they can go and drink or do whatever whatever they want to do, and let me tell you, it is very irritating, because at some point it just feels like enyewe huwezi kuwa na marafiki. It's only like, and me, I tell my close friends, just don't ask me for money. Don't ask me for money. Don't ask me for petty cash. If it's an emergency, we will all come and help you, but don't ask me for petty cash. And anyway, I don't know. What do you guys think, man? And unemployed guys, man, I know you keep saying you guys want opportunities, but don't when you're given an opportunity, now you don't want to work, you just want the free money. What is that now?
Very true. Whatever he's saying might actually sound harsh, but only to those people who don't like hearing it. If you like hearing it, then you understand completely what is happening. If we compare Kenya to the US, then you are going to understand one thing. Most young people are actually doing this same thing. Why? Because they want to seem and look successful, because before they are actually successful. And the issue is not just in wanting the money. The issue is wanting the money instantly. My guy, some of these people actually want you to send the money like you had budgeted for them, bana. It's crazy. It's and the difference between the US or America and Kenya is nothing short of patience. If you are patient in Kenya, then clearly you're going to be successful. Watu wengine watasema ni opportunity. Me, I'd like to think it's patience and actually building some certain skills. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Is Gen Z actually chasing money or just chasing the feeling of becoming rich? YouTube thinks you might be interested in the video on your screen at the moment. Click on that video. I'm waiting to see you on the next one.